And we're live. Live from Parisian Morning, as named by Jazzy. This is the first show of the Contradictory Information Tour, named by Brother Wolf. Oh, I need to start collapsing this. It's got dirt in it. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I'm missing this though. I need that. How's everybody doing? I'm done. I'm done with this. Well, I'm not. Yeah, just with this. Hey to bodybuilder to be Stonic, Rosen, Staffy, to be or not to be, I'll bet that he wears here. Civil homage, Mr. Robert, Wow Soda. Oh Duggar, where art thou? Pierre TV, Beanerino, Megs is here, Reginald Delaware, Socks. You missed the hot tub soda. No, I'm using this in my YouTube show. I'm doing, yeah, it's which you'll see on the big show on the 11th. But no. But I have been filming in public with this pool. Just think about that. How did I do with my eyeshadow? Anyone have? I know I looked pretty raccoonish, but I was impatient. Assuming you saw what I'm talking about, everybody. Assuming you're on the socials. So you're into it? I have to admit that when I put it on, I saw, it's like, I understand why people do this. I get it. I mean, if I wasn't making a ridiculous expression, it definitely does something. It does something. In another life, maybe I would have worn makeup all the time. Let's see. But I would have to be a very different person because I would never have the patience. It would torture me. The time necessary, I wouldn't be able to do it. But it's another parallel universe where I'm slightly different personality-wise. Oh, let's see. Meg says, I never expected to see Goth Kid, but it works. We're almost done with this. So, I started late because my Mac Pro, it's not working sometimes, which is very scary a week away from this big show. Meaning I restarted and I just get a black screen. So I've been resetting the SMC, resetting the PRAM. I think I've figured out the issue, but it's still very concerning. Even if I have a workaround, the fact that this is starting to happen is not a good sign. But I think it has something to do with the Mac does not like my 4x4 monitor matrix, I think. Because what I've been doing, I find I just couldn't get anything on screens. I tried a million things. And I thought, I'm going to try a different monitor. So I tried Tubi's face. I plugged Tubi's face into it, and that worked. And then once I start up, I'm able to then plug in these other monitors, and they work. But The Mac's also been having these shutdowns for the last month or so. It'll just, I'll get up in the morning and it's shut off during the night. Okay, this is good enough. Okay. Sorry for the housekeeping. I mean, it's very disorganized in here right now. I'm just trying to run a production studio out of this room at the same video production studio at the same time. GD Bill. Oh, and thank you, Socks. Socks with 31 months. Says I'm a busy man, but I can show up for a quick rack attack. Thank you, Socks. Hopefully you're free next Saturday. If you're still here, if you haven't had to pop out already, I hope you can make it next Saturday. And Mr. Robert, 56 months up. So thank you. Says, oh, how quick the past 56 months have passed. Here's to 56 more. Thank you, Mr. Robert. I'm reaching the point in the YouTube video where I'm just starting to say, I just got to accept this. I can't spend time trying to fix this. I'm just, because I haven't even finished the production stuff. I got to just start accepting everything. I was gonna do ADR. I think I mentioned the last show. I was gonna ADR like the whole intro. ADR means re-record the vocals, not re-record the video, but basically film new vocals that I sync up to my speaking, because I was very inconsistent. But I don't think I can. It's really difficult to do ADR. Now I know how to do it from a tech point of view with the software, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can afford to spend 6 hours ADRing. But the main thing I want to ADR is I think I told y'all I did a bunch of shots where I was having to hold a very heavy monopod camera, audio, and a teleprompter, and I'm walking with it. And so I wasn't strong enough to just hold it like this. I had to sort of jam my elbow into my body to sort of support it. The problem was that I'm sort of out of breath. And at times, to me, it sounds like I'm constipated. I'm just, because I'm not, or I don't think I was, not with all the kimchi I eat now, but just jamming this, and I had to do many takes because there'd be cars driving by, and it would interrupt the take. So over and over, I'm carrying this thing, trying to perform. When I can barely breathe. This is exhausting. Anyway, so just so when you hear it sound like I'm constipated, it's not. It's just that I'm trying to be a one-person film crew. That's the problem. What are my other excuses? What are my other things I'm going to... Yeah, my voice is all over the place on this. It's just, I think probably the first time you watch it, you'll have no idea. I hope. But if you watch it a second or third time, you'll start to notice how the energy of my voice, I'll be talking really excited, and then suddenly I'm very mellow. I learned, it was a good learning experience. I've learned a lot of things I will not do again. O Duggar, where art thou? Named a sound needs braces. And O Duggar, where art thou? Named a sound cryptography. Muty's here and Rosen. How are y'all doing? Muty says, I am not too quick today. Rock on, kid, rock on. That's okay. I wasn't very quick either. I started late. But yeah, with this computer, I'm mentally preparing myself to just have to buy a computer next week and then return it. Because I mean, even if I had the cash right now, even if I was going to get the computer I want to get, you can't. You know, I wouldn't be able to get it for like 2 or 3 weeks. So I just have to buy the best possible Mac I can buy at the Apple store that's available. Just for, I think Apple is a really short return policy. I know because I've exploited it before. It's only 15 days, I think, which is not, I mean, I don't feel bad. I've purchased I've given Apple a lot of money. So I don't feel bad that I've, taken advantage of their 15-day return policy. But it'd be great if they had 30-day return policy. Let's see. What are we doing? But, there's 35 minutes ago, I wasn't sure if we were going to do a show. I was thinking maybe we'll just do another talk stream because the computer wasn't turned on. And I was just hoping that the hack that I figured out yesterday would work again. And 2 days ago, I came into the computer and I've got 2 screens. And I should have taken a photograph of it. The screensaver had sort of frozen, but in a very pixelated way. The screensaver I have is really nice, flowy graphics, sort of like the light show stuff. And it was the weirdest thing. So this poor computer. Let's see. Meg says, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it used to be 3 weeks when I worked there in Canada, and maybe extensions due to COVID right now. I can look it up. I missed the context of that. 3 weeks. Oh, you mean Apple? Apple products? What was I just talking about? Oh, for Apple returns? 3 weeks. Oh yeah, well that's 3 weeks is slightly better than 15 days. I was thinking 3 months for a second. I was thinking that'd be amazing. I would just buy a computer every 3 months and then return it. I'd buy 4 computers a year, and yeah, I would. If it was 3 months, that's probably what I would do. Sorry, Apple. That's why it's only 15 days. Or 21 days. Do you want to create melody? No. I'm so looking forward to having fewer computers. Once we get the small, super powerful workstation machine. Create a new song. Cancel. It was funny. I was really debating which frame to use for the social media post, and I went with the less extreme, slightly less extreme option. The other option, I looked enraged. This one, I don't think I look angry. I just, I'm just whatever. But the other one that I was considering. Okay, let's see. What am I doing? I can't, my brain's not working. Cancel. I'm just supposed to press cancel. Feels good. It took me 4 tries to get this one sequence. I ran out of time when I was up in the far north. I ran out of daylight, so I couldn't do it then. And then I tried 2 other times, and there was, well, I did succeed in filming it one of the times, but I thought it was garbage. What I did, it wasn't garbage. No, I was trying not to show something in the shot, and so I just cropped too close to my head, and I didn't like how it looked. So I finally got it yesterday. So I finally deflate that swimming pool, and had a bunch of props I don't need anymore. Feels good. Okay. But I made it was really useful. I don't know why I didn't think of this originally, but I made a graph. I had more of a checklist style, and I made a graph with all the segments of the episode, and then a graph for pre-production, music production, and post-production. So I could just, and then I color code it. I don't, well, from just looking at it, it looks like I'm not even 50% done, but I think I'm 75% done. Knock on wood. Okay, milestones. Oh, Duggar, where art thou's 250th drum kit and Staffy's 850th song. Let's see. But I am beat. This is the final 10% always takes 90% of our time. I wish, well, I'm not even at that point, Muty. I'm not even to the final 10%. I still have things I need to film. I'm not gonna have time for the final 10%. Yeah, there will be no final 10%. I think just before you arrived, Media, I was telling Chad how I have been planning on ADRing, redoing my speaking vocals for a whole about 2 or 3 minutes of the thing, and I think I decided today that unless I miraculously have time, like next Friday, I can't worry about it. I can't waste time on it. I need to focus on the bigger picture things. And I have a bunch of, I've got so much to do. I've got some coding things I have to take care of that I really need to take care of, like, before next week. So we have at least 1 or 2 shows where I can test it out and make sure that it doesn't destroy things. Okay, drum kit. Old School Funk Remix. But yeah, I don't know if the YouTube thing, I don't know how I feel about it. It is ambitious, and so at very least it's ambitious. I'd always rather be ambitious than not. So I think given the choice, I'd rather be ambitious than be good. So, okay, here's Bean Reno. Meg says, just remember to keep hydrating. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Reese can chat ADR for you. That, that could be a funny thing if it was intentional, and yeah, if every word is somebody else, you know, that could be a funny thing. Just run this. I'm not going to do that for this, Muty, but can you just suggest that? Because that gives me a bunch of ideas. In the process of thinking I was going to do ADR, I learned how to. It's really easy to do, but I still had to spend 10 minutes watching a YouTube video. I learned how to do something called I forget what it's called. It's basically you send two quick. It's cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but for this kind of thing, it wouldn't need to be perfect. What you do is you have your video clip in your original audio, and then you have the audio of your new voice. Right. Let's say the first time you recorded, right when you were talking, your voice cracked or something. Right. So you couldn't use the take, or maybe a dump truck drove by and it sort of didn't sound, it was hard to understand what you're saying. And so you record a new take, but you're not totally synced up with your lips. So you send it from Premiere to Audition, and then in Audition, there's a special thing that you run on the two clips, and it basically stretches the audio of the new version to match the old version audio so that it lines up with your lips. It's not perfect, but when you're desperate, or in a creative situation like this. Okay, and then we have, did I not even show that beat on screen? It's gonna be one of those shows. It's gonna be like this till the next show. Until the 11th, I'm gonna be out of it. Okay, there's the first beat. And then Mr. Robert. But yeah, I tried to ADR. I guess it was yesterday I tried to do it, right? I think it was yesterday. Or did I talk? Did I said I'd already done it? I don't think I think it was yesterday I tried to do it. And the opening shot is an outdoor shot. And it's or one of the it's not it's one of the opening shots. It's early on in the sequence. He's outdoors, and I'm sort of, I talk differently when I'm outside because the camera was far away and there's just lots of sound. So I'm projecting, and I'm animated. And then I tried to do the ADR, and it just sounded so weird because my body language did not match my voice. I'm trying to figure a way to simulate it. It's like, how are you? I'm trying to talk. How are you? It's very difficult to do. To try to be, to talk mellow, but move your body crazy. Act as if you're amped up. Try to do it in the comfort of your own home. Try to have two different emotions with your voice and your body. It's hard, or at least for me, it was very difficult. Don't me forget I need to focus this camera before we start the other camera. Okay, we got our beats. Let's see, sounds. First up, why do we have background music? Rhodes is kind of like a laid-back server that's secretly hyperactive, yeah. And then we've got colossal synth bass. We got 4 basses. Motown bass. Staffy comforts of tone. if I'm gonna get stuck with all of one kind of sound, bass is I think the easiest thing to still be able to do something that feels very that's has a lot of tonal variety to it, because basses are so versatile because you don't have to play them low. Tubi, that's not the right. Tubi, you screwed them all up, didn't you? Wait. Stinger bell, I was okay. Oh, man. Tubi. This got me thinking. That melodic video in the alley where the train goes toot? It would be funny if that aspect could be changed every time. So you hear a goat, for instance, instead of a train. It doesn't take much to bring me joy. Yeah, that could be a really easy thing that happens. Maybe not melodica. I think melodica is such a mysterious instrument. I think something like trumpet might be, because melodica, people don't know what it's gonna sound. A lot of people don't know what it sounds like. So I think if we had something like a trumpet, that could be more dramatic for first-time viewers, because everybody knows what a trumpet sounds like, almost, But that's a funny idea, yeah. And it's just a 3-second thing, 4 or 5 seconds, And I could seek out wacky sounds in my travels. Sorry, Tubi, come on. My patience is wearing thin, Tubi. Although I do appreciate you letting me use your mouth as a monitor earlier today. That was helpful, Tubi. That was very helpful. If I can get these sound loaded, we can beat the hours. Wait, what? Oh, that's still running. Oh, that's why that happened. Okay, load sounds. Well, I can. Okay, so Stinger bass is 4. Oh, 3. Here's Stinger bass. There we go. And then we have Comforts of Tome. I Have Too Much Time from G.D. Bill. Oh, and no instruments today. Trying to probably no instruments till Thursday next week. I mean, I might do have, real quiet ones, but it'll be song specific. Okay, y'all pick which sound. Oh, and I didn't demo Motown bass. I was working on screen replacement yesterday, and well, that's not interesting. We'll talk about that. Okay. Funny, I think most of the background music on the YouTube video is going to be from 2017 and 2018. Just because that's what I was listening to try to find tracks. Just randomly. I didn't even... This is going to be old school ETC kid. Etc. kid. Old school the etc. kid. Send this poll. So much as I was expecting another brainstorm. Oh, we can still do that. I'm probably not gonna do a music show on Tuesday. We might do another brainstorming show on Tuesday. But feel free to suggest ideas anytime. Okay, Comfort's a Tome. We're gonna do it. We're gonna beat the hour. Sweet. I do not have this voice right now. It's clear. No gravel in it at all. Roses, do we have a place to see the list? I haven't had time. I saw your note. I haven't had time to do it. I don't know if I will have time. I'll try to. It's a good suggestion. But let's see. What am I doing here? This is 2017. It was a fine year for Dombro. There was a lot of Dombro in that era. Yes, there was. Wait, that's from 2019? This song? Huh. I thought my voice was self-destructing before that date. Well, self-destruct, that's not the right word. It's just, it's evolving to allow me to express different things. Let's see. I think when I move into the van, my voice is gonna clear up, or at least I'm gonna learn how to easily switch between. I'll be able to switch. Fergus says 2020 was a rough year for everyone. Yep. Oh, I got my booster today. I have basically solid titanium armor around my body now. I've had COVID. I've had 2 rounds plus the booster. I'm ready. I'm ready, COVID. Isn't singing words make your voice go rough? That may be why I started singing words more. Because I don't sing as vertically when I'm using words. So it might have been, I don't think, I mean, it didn't have anything to do with words. Yeah. But no, I think it's just, it's age, and I think it's mostly stress. That's why I'm hopeful that it's not a permanent thing. Although it's really fun to sound like that for some kinds of singing, right? I really like it in the lower register. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having grit in the lower register and being very clear in the upper registers. That'd be a perfect scenario. Okay, let's see. Max, you've had 4 COVID tests in the past 3 days? That sounds awful. Muty belches once stress is over. It's gonna be like you sing on helium. Yeah. I think I'm gonna use that track we heard a few days ago on the background music, or last week, "Weight of Love," which is all this high falsetto stuff. I think I'm gonna use it on the YouTube video. I better beat the hour. Time to etc. Thanks for those scalps. I think miraculously the camera was in focus. Is that possible? Let's see, titles. Pierre TV reasons to be okay. And hey, Pierre. Mags with blissfully blind. Oh, hey, Pete. Pete's here with archiving black holes. He says looked in focus as far as I can tell. Yeah, I think when the last shot I did last night, I think I was about this distance, I believe. One more. Wait, did I get all? Somebody did a title? Who do you think? Right, and that's what I think I didn't click on it while it was. I mean, did I? Is that right? Did someone do a who do you something? Sometimes I don't. I'm supposed to click on these as they happen, but I sometimes forget. You did? Oh, right. All right. That was, yeah. Muty did. Okay, good. I've added it. Whoops, gotta press end. It'd be pretty cool if this YouTube thing works, because as overwhelmed as I am and as stressed, I've enjoyed a lot of the process, even though it's not improv. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Stabby's as if you're following an ADR tutorial. Do they have dub steps? That's a good one. That's a good one. Pieces you created something you didn't crave for also counts as improv. Well, I've mentioned this before. I think one of the reasons is this is an easier process for me than I think if I had tried to do it 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Is I've done just an insane amount of improvisation over the last 5 years, that it's easier for me to take that kind of attitude and apply it to produced content. I recorded a record in my 20s that I, agonized over and made myself absolutely miserable over for a year or so. It's just 10 or 10 songs or something. And I think I've done improv ever since I was 13 or 14, I think. 14. I think I started improv when I was 14. But but this album that I worked at that time was not improv. I mean, there was some improv in it, but I think I'd have an easier time recording an album now. I don't have any desire to right now, but Doug says, "Do you still have that record?" I do. I don't promote anything in my past though. I do technically still have it. Maybe in like 20 years I'll release some things from my past again. I doubt it though. I'm just not nostalgic. He says, glad to hear that. It was my biggest worry. You just wait till you begin to love it instead of liking it. And once you find your creative direction through demographics and analytics, you're going to crush YouTube. I don't know about that. Wait till you see what it is, Beauty. But thank you. Thank you. Well, the YouTube game, right? The main thing with YouTube is you just it's like it's sort of like the analogy I would use is I thought I did 4 titles. I meant to do 4. I thought I clicked on 4. It's like I forget what it is. I think it's the is it tigers and wildebeest? I don't know. It's these 2 creatures, and they just, or maybe it was what humans did. Humans, have this like crazy endurance, right? And they just stalk their prey until their prey just tires out. Like the prey is faster, right? But the prey doesn't have the ruthless determination, right? And that's YouTube, I think. It's just about it's like the last one standing. It's just about not giving up and making a billion videos. Doug Zoo can't make one of those unlocks for this special show. It'd have to be like the Wu-Tang thing, where you couldn't tell anyone about it. It's not that I have a big problem with the content. It's just it's still a privacy thing. I'm trying to maintain my my anonymity. Not that but and through that album you could probably figure out my legal name. So I don't want it generally available. If I weren't a streamer, I wouldn't be as worried. It's just, streamers, we have some unique things that almost nobody else has to deal with. Like big famous celebrities don't have to deal with some of the risks that streamers take on. Pieces I started improvising since the day I played music. Always used to be fun with friends back then. We weren't good, but we had fun. Yeah, I did not. I started playing music in elementary school, and I definitely did not improvise. It wasn't till I think I started in junior high. I started improvising, and it wasn't till I was probably 14 or 15 when I first heard Cecil Taylor, and that's when it just clicked in my mind. Like this is something different than anything else I've ever done. There's nothing like this. Let's see the titles I used. I used Muties, Who Do You Think You ADR, Rosen, Dancing in My Life, Rosen, Hard to Say Either Way, Staffy, Reason I Don't See. I took 2 types from Pierre's 2 Types of Charging. Oh, and Mutie, thanks for gifting that sub to Rosen. Thank you. Mutie says Panama from that album. That was later. I did that. That was probably 5 or 6 years later. I could see record. I never really recorded a final version of Panama. I have a version that I had a band, and it was an awesome band. It was all jazz musicians. We were playing sort of more rock music that I was writing, but they were jazz musicians. And they did somewhere I have a version where the pianist and the saxophone player did just an instrumental version of Panama, which is really cool. P says, for that reason, it's also super alien to me that people can't pick up a melody by hearing it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, my ear is one of my weaker musical skills, and a lot of that is because, for the first, I guess For the most part, for the first 6 years of my development as a musician, I was just reading music. Oh, and Chuck Bach is here, and hey to Jazzy and Aunt Mont. Rhodes' Kid Writing Rock with every race. Well, I mean rock in a very broad category, meaning it's not classical and it's not jazz. Yeah. And it wasn't pop. But it wasn't. We did a pretty awesome cover of Breed by Nirvana. That was the only cover we did. We did this cover. I wrote this sort of jazz metal version of it or something, and because the sax player is just insane in this band, and I wrote this crazy fast thing for him to play. We basically made it sound. If I remember, we made it sound twice as fast as the original Breed. Yeah. Oh, Tubi broke. What happened to Tubi? Whoops. Okay, Tubi has not gotten any messages in the last 2 minutes. All the messages you wrote, it's as if they don't exist. Fortunately, I was looking at my backup chat, but it took me a second to realize. Oh well. What am I doing? Oh, I sang on this and some Melodica. It might take a second for Tubi to catch up. Oh, I should actually do something to help Tubi catch up faster, because it might take a long time otherwise. Reset, where is it? Reset Bob messages. There we go. Let me shout out some other titles. Rosen with Geyser. Miss Robert Under the Light of the Full Moon. There's a whole bunch of great old jazz tunes that talk about the full moon. There might even be a lyric, by the light. Oh no, it's by the light of the silvery moon. By the light of the silvery moon. What is it? Something I will swoon. And no background music either. What's going on? Oh, did I not do what I was supposed to with that? Man, there's this basic step that I just don't remember to do. And it tells me to do it. I just haven't been doing it. That might be why there's no background music. Musicians, if jazz musicians didn't play music all night, they could make songs about the sun, but the moon is all they see. Blue Moon. Moon, yeah, moon's a word. There just aren't that many rhymes, and so you hear the same ones over and over again. You know, swoon, tune. Those croon, and then the other ones start to become, send you in a direction, like dune or loon, right? June. There's a Soft Machine track called Moon in June. It's my favorite Soft Machine album. Love that album. I think it's called 3 or 5, third or fifth. It's their third or fifth album, and it's got Robert Wyatt. I love his voice. Robert Wyatt was a drummer, and then maybe I might be misremembering this. He got injured, paralyzed or something somehow, so I don't think he drums anymore, but he still sings. But he's got this beautiful, fragile voice. Really cool sounding. Vidal Sassoon, media says. I wonder if he's even still alive. He must be. I mean, he's got to be in his 70s now. Soft Machine, they were contemporaries of Pink Floyd, and they were sort of part of that British psychedelic scene. They were more jazz influenced. They often had a saxophone player, and let's end this poll. Oh yeah, Lagoon. Pete gave us some broom. Staffy gave goon. Buffoon. Right. So those are very specific words, you know. I think that's why we don't see the word moon used that as much anymore. And people don't really people don't use the word tune very often. But in jazz, it's and then back in probably I think in the 30s and 40s, you'd say that's a tune, right? That, you know, any tunes. But people don't refer to pop songs as tunes anymore, do they? I feel like that's not commonly used. Pierre's named it Reasons to Be Okay. iTunes, right? That's true. iTunes. Saskatoon? What's Saskatoon? I haven't heard of that before. Oh, bassoon? Right, so I'm just thinking about love songs, how you're going to work in words like bassoon or buffoon, you know? I kissed you under the beautiful moon, and then a witch came down and stole you on her broom. I gave chase, but I sunk deep into a lagoon. It was the month of June. It was the very last time I sang love's tune. Okay. Oh, that's in the song. I heard that sound. That sort of metal thing. Meaty says, Blue Moon, you make me feel like a buffoon. It would take a whole platoon, but you will get your baboon. Rosa says, I'm a buffoon whose love for you is as deep as the notes of a bassoon. Hey, Piano Teapot, thanks for the raid. How's your stream? What were you doing today? Oh, we got another slow one. 2 slow ones. Maybe I'll go into double time at some point if I feel it. He says on that note, most songs that use sun also use run in the same song. Yeah, what are some sun rhymes? We got fun, done, pun, chat's favorite word, pun. Drum kit is the 707-727 kit. Yeah, thanks so much, Piano Teapot. When's your next show? When can chat check you out? Oh, and Piano Teapot and Raiders. We got the biggest show in the history of this channel, right? Not this Saturday, a week from Saturday. going to be insane. Insane. So many things will be happening at it. It's going to be exhausting. Okay, let's see. Here's Rosen. Oh, you've seen the social stuff, Piano Teapot? Thank you, yeah. Yeah, I've been doing much more, the most promotion I've ever done for anything. Which is bad, right? I should do this much for every show. That'd be so funny if, even though I do 3 shows a week, I start promoting every show like a year in advance. So and doing social media posts. Oh boy. Okay, let's see. Here's Rosen. I was hesitating a little bit on some of the challenge things we were talking about. I was getting a little cold feet. Well, I was thinking, it wasn't that. I was thinking maybe I won't release those songs on the album. Maybe they'll just be on that. Then I'd feel better about it, I think. If they're just on the show and not on the albums. This is mainly the t-shirt one. I don't know if I want that to have its own database entry. Dogs is for the 10th. I never said 10,000. I think I was saying like a million something. And we'd have to wait 6 months to make sure the check clears and everything. Rhodes is no triangle shirt database. I think we'll do some of we'll do some of the challenge stuff. I think my hesitation is that I take the music very seriously. And I don't want to disrespect the music itself. That's my only worry. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong. Wait, I did Rosen. Here's Sugar. Music will be a statement if you add them in the album as a once in a lifetime memory. Don't take music too serious. Be like John Cage's shirts. I mean, maybe if I deliberately do a silly song. I mean, it would have to be silly. I guess I've done 1,000 shows. I've done 5,000 songs. If I have one song where I'm putting on many t-shirts, it's probably okay. Okay, we got our beats. Okay, let's check out our sounds. First up. Oh boy. Theoretically, I'm going to try to record a music video for this YouTube thing, but I haven't even finished the track, and the props I haven't even finished for it. That's the one really big thing that's left that I may just have to say it's not possible to do. I may just have to let go of it. Doug says, how many shirts do you think you can get on? I'm sure at least 10, right? I don't know. 20? Maybe says you to Pirate Song. Yeah. Well, I think why I feel okay about that is because it was the point of the song. I mean, that's the key with these challenges, is that if I'm going to do them, I can only do silly music. I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to do something that's sincere. I mean, sincerely funny, but not, you know. Ballad electric bass. And then Muty with rubber band bass. Muty's been so kind. I really was getting sick of synth basses. Not sick of them, but I just missed. Electric basses can do things that synth basses can't do. And Muty's been giving me lots of great basses the last month or couple months. This isn't a big show about keeping people entertained. Mixing it up with silly stuff would help, yeah. Well, it's always been my distinction is that there's the songs and there's in-between songs, right? In-between songs, anything goes. Well, not anything, but almost anything. But yeah, if it's one show, I'll probably come around to it. And I could always have the option afterwards to decide not to put it on the album. And not to release individual YouTube videos. Magenta. He says, I learned to love the electric bass. What I like about, especially about electric basses, which bass players might not like, why I like them, but electric basses don't demand your attention in the same way that synth basses often do. Not always, but a lot of synth basses just take up so much sonic bandwidth because often they have a lot more high frequencies in them than electric basses do. And they're just dominating. They just dominate the track. Electric basses is a lot easier to get the great feeling of a bass without it sort of fighting with all the other things that are happening. I definitely have listened to a fair amount of music where the bass players are going nuts, but a lot of times if everyone in the band is going nuts at the same time and playing tons of notes, it can sound very mushy, and just because it's in a way it's like being in a room and there's 5 people and everybody's talking and nobody's listening. You know. Now it's one thing if people are doing the same thing, right? If the bass player and the guitar player are both playing really fast and they're playing the same thing, but if both of them are going nuts, sometimes it works, but often for me personally, I find it sonically exhausting. Magenta. I generally like bass being busy when it's the loudest thing, right? So in funk, bass is awesome, is usually the main thing you hear that's instrumental. You know, the guitars are much quieter usually relative to the bass. And then horns and keyboards are also tend to be back, and you'll have horns as punctuation, but that's the bass and the drums. Staff says, do you take merch IDs on Discord? Yeah, you can always do stuff with suggest command or in the feedback. But I love Tower of Power, and that bass player plays a lot of notes. And James Jamerson on a lot of Motown stuff. But again, James Jamerson, it's often the bass is the main thing you hear besides the singer. Sodas should be shaken, not stirred. Pete, you like Tower of Power? Yeah. Because I like them because they allow for so much saturation, harmonic distortion, compression. Synth basses are all processed and EQ to death, yeah. And then opposite attract, yeah. It's a debut. Zug. So I was saying I got my booster shot today. And when I got my original shots, I went to this big, I don't remember what it was. It was very big. It was a big complex, right? There were tons of people there. You'd think you were lined up to see a rock concert or something, you know? But the vibe was so different between the two, because the first time, you know, they literally had markers for a quarter mile or whatever, you know, of social distancing, right? They had tape and they had, and then after you got your shot, you'd go into the big room to sit, and everyone had to sit at least 2 seats away from anyone else. And then as soon as someone got out of their chair, someone would run over with you know, cleaner and spray off their chair, wipe it down. Today, it was like, I mean, people were wearing masks, but there was no social distancing at all. And the same thing, you have to sit to make sure you don't have any adverse reactions. Same thing, no social distancing, people are sitting right next to each other. No one's wiping down anything. Pieces, I had a friend who knew all the horn parts out of his head. Put his random song, he could sing along with the horn parts. Yeah, well, that's what they're known for. My favorite albums that they did is it's one that generally is not liked. Most people don't like it. It's not considered one of their better albums, but I love it. It's because I love the singer. They had a lot of different singers. But I love falsetto, right? And this guy had an insane falsetto. And I remember trying to find other stuff he'd done. And after he left the band, he didn't record. I don't know. I couldn't find really anything he'd done. Just really sad. It's called Ain't Stopping Us Now. The singer, who is the singer? Edward McGee. There are a few on YouTube. You can find some. I think there's a concert where they sing with Edward McGee singing "What Is Hip" and stuff. But his voice was awesome. Okay, let's end this poll. Oh, good night. Good night, Pierre. Yeah, see you Saturday. Let's end this poll. Opposite attract? Yeah. I would try to inspire you. Let's see. We haven't done this one in a year. Oh, well, this was a fun one. Let's do this one. Was this? I forget whose suggestion this was. Use the quote command as inspiration. Run the quote command and just be inspired however you want from the quote command. Duck Hunt was not good. Oh, that was Nintendo. We were talking about Nintendo. Did anyone like Duck Hunt? Remember when Nintendo first came out? It was Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. And oh, Doug and Meaty both liked it? Really? No Kappa? Is that considered a early first-person shooter? Duck Hunt. Was that the beginning of first-person shooters? Rose, and you have it still? And you have the orange light gun? Here we go. Time to etceterate. Thanks for those scalps. Titles. Let's see. Jazzy with Sweet Pea. And I should get bad lip readers to it. You know, have you seen that? Bad lip readers? To figure out what it is I'm singing. Back in the early years of the show when I never sang lyrics. Or was I? Maybe I just had terrible addiction. From O'Dugger, we're out there, a surprise reprise. Usually I used to make up lyrics, what they sound like. It was usually awesome. Oh. Then we got Meaty Belcher, Rules Are for Fools. One more. Wow, this is many verses too of my made-up language. From Staffy, Farewell Port. Doug says kidless, yeah. So homage with the 45-month sub. So says, I say I like Kid before it was cool, but it's yet to be as cool as it should. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, So. In honor of Soa, let's get a bunch of ETC Lurky. It's ETC Lurky, right? Or Lurker? What was it? ETC Lurker? No? ETC Lurky? It's not working. Why is it not working for me? Oh, I guess I can't see it on this. It's not working on either of these chats. ETC Lurky, yeah. Great new empty track, okay. We talk about this too. There's advantages and disadvantages to if I were to do Kickstarter, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to. One of the advantages is I was going to have to make a special Kickstarter video. And I had an idea, but the time, it's nice to not have to do it now. You ready for 182.65 BPM? I might still get a very short from the idea I had for the video, I might just do a very short segment of it. Oh, I used some titles as lyrics. Sweet Concern and Forgetting Everything from Duggar. And Earth, Wind, and Fireflies, which is awesome from Muty. And Printed in Blue from Staffy. I was going to ask, was GoFundMe saying Kickstarters and haven't used... Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure I checked that one. I definitely checked Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Yeah, I checked GoFundMe. What did I do? I did some Rhodes and voice. Let me shout out some other titles. Bati Builder to be Stonic with Banks and Chicken Fingers. Chuck Baca, Thirsty Thursday. Rosen. Grab Me the Outdoor Stream. Jazzy, Unsurprised. O Duggar, Where Art Thou? Guitarred and Flustered. Beatty Belcher, Marvin. Staffy, Steal Yourself. You know, just in case, I'm 90% sure I checked GoFundMe, but I'll check again just to make sure. I'm pretty... Oh, now am I not going to... Whoops. Check GoFundMe. Let's see. End this poll. 4-way tie. Let's break this tie. Farewell, Port. Farewell. Staffy has named it. I need to start my direct outreach. I was supposed to start it last week. Hey, Mac, welcome. I don't actually do covers. I do improv. It's very interactive. So you could be part of an improv, but I don't do covers. But thank you for the request. Thanks for dropping by. Hey, Crookbrooks. Followed by Crookbrooks' request for Robert Miles. Crookbrooks, I can't promise that I'm going to play Children by Robert Miles, but I do have this crazy, crazy big show December 11th. And it won't be a legitimate show if you don't at some point request Robert Miles. Okay? I'm going to have to cancel the show if you can't if you can't request during it. December 11th. No, it's a week from Saturday. There's a countdown on screen right there. 8 days away. I'm trying to come up with social media posts. Maybe that'll be a post. December 11th. Kid may play Children by Robert Miles, parentheses, but probably won't. But he might. You never know. Only way to find out for sure is to be here on December 11th. Logic script didn't finish. Oh yeah, it did. It's okay. Drum kit. Trip Hop Remix. Okay. Whoops, didn't make the beats yet. Wow, wow. Soda from Duggar. Wait, I'm doing 8 notes. Sorry. I don't want the drummer to have a heart attack. Well, we got 4 on the floor, but the snares are a little marching band. What can we do to make them less marching band? Krupu says, okay, everyone, you heard it. First December 11th, big show. And then Piano Teapot. The first hour of the show will be relatively normal, I think. The second hour is where most of the stuff that I've been planning is going to go down. And then the third and the fourth hour is where we'll probably do some of the crazy stuff Chad came up with on Tuesday. And I may do a 24-hour show, who knows? This is We Have One Balloon, just the one we don't want to be too festive. Yeah, I know I need to think about set design, right? I don't know if I'm going to have time to do much visual stuff. Right now I'm feeling a little overwhelmed with milestones. Oh, Duggar, where art thou's 3900th drum fill? Yeah, Meaty says just the one we don't want to be too festive. I think I'll put Tubi in a bow tie. How's that? And I'll have Tubi working. Tubi has been out of commission. I can spell ETC. Yeah. Take care, Crookbooks. Till next time, may your sonic earwaves be filled with the sounds of children by Robert Miles. Crookbooks, if you're still here, do you listen to it every day? How many times do you estimate? How many times do you estimate you've heard the track? 1,000 times? 500 times? 50,000 times? Sounds we've got. Crookbooks says, how many times have I requested? 10 times 1,000. Well, you know what's nice, Crookbooks, is there's so many DJs on Twitch now. You probably are able to get it a lot more than you did in the beginning when there were not as many, you know? Because your average, person with an acoustic guitar is not going to be able to do it. You DJ? Oh, okay. Crookbooks, you know what you need to do? You need to do a stream, a 24-hour stream where all you do is children. Just 24 hours straight. It's things like that I think do well on Twitch, Just the investment. People show up and it's like they hear children and then they hear it again and people will start betting, right? Is it going to be children again, or is Crookbook going to mix it up and play some, I don't know, Depeche Mode? Nope, it's children again. Tight bass. Okay, fade out. We got tight bass from Muty. We've got Liverpool, another awesome electric bass. So I'll use one high, one low. Hey, Saucy Duck. And Blue. Saucy Duck and Blue, don't forget. You'd think I would know by now. It's just opposite. I have to think opposite. Opposite. Our big show is a week from Saturday. Crookbook says, I'm glad you requested before I even streamed. Is this playback? Yeah. Yeah, have you ever streamed, Crookbooks? I'm going to write a bot. I'm going to send to our bot, to be or not to bot, to request it every 30 seconds. Oh, good. Blue won't forget. And then we've got Peacefully He Gave from Mr. Robert. Awesome, Saucy Duck. Glad you'll be there. And then Rhodes with RR Cool J. Follow the Signs from Chuck Baca. And then also from Chuck Baca, LA Pad Perk. That's loud. Okay, y'all pick which sound starts the improv. Thanks, Beauty. Because I would request a kid song on Crookbook stream, but I can't choose. Also good. It's okay if we keep the stream going for a long time, eventually. I think the Grateful Dead are one of the bands with the most shows. I think they did around 2,500 shows. Eventually. Grateful Dead has a lot of good sort of singable songs. If Twitch ever fully figures out the cover song issue, I could see doing. I think it'd be fun every once in a while to do basically improv using dead tracks, but not with. I mean, just electronic. So it'd be sound very, very different. I'd be up to do that. Oh, you know the other thing that was awesome about my booster shot today? Well, this was the only awesome thing about it. I got there and they were playing Earth, Wind & Fire and Stevie Wonder. Yes. This is good. So this is what's the record for stream improvised songs? I think I have that record. I think, probably. But you never know. There's probably somebody else who's done like 50,000 songs. Oh, and hey, Visidunas. Musicians in some songs will make it to the album, a big show where we do copyrighted songs. Maybe that's Project X. Maybe it's like, we're just gonna do covers now. Let's end this poll. I have said that I've always told y'all what Project X is. New stream types. Pieces I think Twitch will never figure out the copyright issue because the issue's not with Twitch but the copyright holders. Well, some other Facebook signed a deal that my understanding is it fully covers. Twitch only, there's 2 licenses and Twitch only signed one of the licenses. Twitch did not sign, so it is theoretically possible, but I think the most realistic solution is for the record labels to basically create a service that is a sync rights service, which is it's not just musicians but streamers in general on Twitch need it, and you pay a monthly fee to the record labels, and you can get sync rights. That's the issue. Okay, I'm not going to talk about copyright anymore. Time to etceterate. Here we go. Time to etceterate. Maybe not. Not yet. I had more steps to do. Now it is time to etceterate. We need a new song. We need a new song. Thanks for those caps. Titles. Rose and heavy as a feather. Hug Queen. Hey, Hug Queen with real. Staffy hiding. Muty Belge with nothing else antimatters. When I use some titles as lyric inspiration, Doug with Son of the Oven, and Rose and Digits in the Bites. Hey Hart, thanks for the raid. How was your stream? Thanks for the raid. Let me shout out some titles. Hug Queen, how quickly can you run? Soda, the wrong way to be disorganized. What's the right way? My studio is pretty disorganized right now. Doug with Calvation. Muty, this is not a love, son. Staffy, feel or no feel? Rose and gravitational repulsion. Hugween says, Tubi did the real title and your title badly? Blue with Autobahn. The Autobahn's in Germany, right? Is that... Have you driven on that, Pete? Or anyone else? Is that where there's no speed limit? Or are there speed limits now? No speed limit, but also means no insurance? You mean if you get an, you mean if you're driving on the Autobahn, you have no insurance? I would not drive on the Autobahn. Oh, if you're driving above a certain speed. Okay. I see, that makes sense. I was gonna say if Granny driving 40 kilometers an hour on the Autobahn gets in an accident, they're not going to cover her because someone was driving 200 kilometers per hour. I feel like I think I've seen 80 mile an hour things out west somewhere. Definitely 75. In New Mexico, there's a lot of roads that are 75. I don't know a lot, but some of the interstates are 75. I feel like I saw 80 somewhere. You know, a stretch where there are no cars. Basically, nobody drives. Montana's 80? Okay, maybe that's where I was. And everyone's doing 90, yeah. Hey, Calisetsi. Calzi says in Florida, I-95 is 70, but everyone's doing 90 to 95. Oh, Hug Queen and Calisetsi, anyone else who came in? We got our big show. A week from Saturday. This is not to be missed. It's going to be a memorable experience, I think. Something you're going to have to experience live. This is what's the fastest I've ever driven? Probably 80. Yeah, I didn't have any, I was not a street racer. On the 11th, yes, Calzetzi. Yeah, I was not a street racer. I was not, drag racing. Nothing else antimatters. Beauty's named it Nothing Else Antimatters. Thank you, Beauty. Oh, and hey to Flappy Humbug. This show is over a year in the making. This is officially, I've only ever gotten 80 in Montana. Yeah, I'm risk averse. This came up recently, right? I've not done a lot of things that are risky to my body. I mean, every time you get in a car, you're basically, you know, taking a real risk. But other than that, well, I bicycled in Boston for 15 years, which is not the safest thing. First request ever. Mech Barber. And Mech, if you didn't actually make these requests, it looks like they happened because you followed. Thank you for your follow. In the future, you can make requests on our on-screen extension or in chat. Blues, you've hit nearly 60 miles an hour in skis. Wow. Milestones, Duggar's 7,000th. 7,000th request. Hey, Chills. He says you should go skydiving. It's safer than driving, and I think you would appreciate experience. Well, you know the tomato photo. That's a skydiving uniform that I borrowed. Skydiving is safer than driving. Pizza's almost everything is safer than driving, yeah. Take the streaming back skydiving. Lou says, yeah. I don't know. I'm still inclined to take most of my physical risks when I'm much older. I feel like I've mostly focused on mental risks. Lucy probably won't be the first person to do it. Yeah, I'm sure sure it's been done. He says, I didn't. You feel so tiny and small, but at the same time you feel big. It's a real weird explain, but the world's never the same again. I imagine it's somewhat similar to going into space. The feeling. I wonder if any of us here today will go into space. Maybe in 100, maybe in 50 years, space tourism won't be that expensive. Maybe it'll be like, $20,000 or something, which is really expensive, I know. But I mean, compared to now, which would be, they're probably $1 million. I don't know how much you have to pay to. It's sort of invitation only right now, right? You can't just buy a ticket. You have to be in a famous science fiction TV show. That's how you get a ticket. Loses you if you have to ask. You can't afford it. Yeah. Have y'all heard about the space elevator? Have you? I remember reading about that a long time ago. Are they still working on that idea? A space elevator? Let's see. Okay, drum kit. Retro rock. Because we need a new evolution of industry. Cars we took off after Industrial Revolution. We would be there already if Big Corp would stop patenting everything. Doug's, if I make a space, I don't want to come back. I feel like going to space is going to be a lot cooler in about 400 or 500 years, or maybe a couple hundred years. Because now you can't do much, right? It's not like you're going to be able to just waltz over to trying to think of some constellation. You basically have to stay close to Earth. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll go to Mars. But maybe we'll solve the speed of light problem in 200-300 years, and people will be able to go just the whole universe at our fingertips. Can you imagine? I see a grim future where moons are used as giant ad signs. Yeah, I'm not that excited about just going to space for space, but if I had the opportunity to basically just go to lots of planets, and especially if there's there's other intelligent life out there, which I think there is. I think they're too far away for us to ever see them, but I think there has to be. With the size of the universe. That would be incredible. Deleted. Here we go. Beats. First up, deleted from Staffy. I read a lot of science fiction and fantasy when I was a kid, but I've always been more drawn to science fiction. I think it just I've just fantasy feels more looking backwards. I know it isn't. It's fictional, so it's not really looking backwards, but it's definitely more inspired by the past. Meaty Belt, just as if Rick and Morty's half right, the universe is an ugly place to travel. Pieces of solid speed of light problem, so that means we have no mass. I mean, you think about how much we've developed, how far we've advanced in, just the last 100 years. If we had another 500 years and we don't destroy ourselves, which, is pretty likely, but there's got to be some way around it, some way to be able to go anywhere in the universe extremely quickly. There's Mech Barber. First ever beat. Sounds electric vintage fingered from Muty Belcher. And then we've got a Fretless Wonder. Pieces we will destroy ourselves, not the planet. The planet has been destroyed a couple times before. In fact, pretty likely we weren't here if that didn't happen. Doc says, why do you have to get there quickly? Why can't you enjoy the slow journey? If I could live forever, I'd be all about the slow journey. I'd have no problem with the slow journey. Well, I don't want to live forever, but if I could live, And then we got, from Mr. Robert, Editor Pluckdash. He says the new wave of UFO sightings, the fifth kind. Apparently aliens don't use propulsion, but the power of thought. To travel in spaceships, the mind is faster than light. That it is. From Blue, Timpani Tremolo Crescendo. Mech Barber with a random request when you followed Spirit's Eve. That's a cool sound. Rosen Singers. How many times has Spirit's Eve been used? 14 other times. Feels like the first time. Oh no, is Tubi crashed again? Hey, Bean Salsa. How are you doing? Bean Salsa, remember we've got our big show December 11th, a week from Saturday. A week from Saturday. Oh, thanks, Bean Salsa. Send this bow. Here we go. Time. Time to accelerate. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong with us. Tell me what's wrong. Why are we covered in dust? It seems like the world is being caught by the wind. It seems like our hearts don't mean any old thing. And when those waves crash and sing their lonely song from where and what they bring, and when those waves crash against the rocks, and I feel like every single door is locked. Yeah, I need you to play a symphony of light. I need you to play a symphony of light. I feel like we all got in us just a little bit of fight left. We need that symphony of light, that symphony of light, that symphony of light, that symphony of light. Thanks for those caps. Let's see our titles. Oh, did I get that title? Yeah. Mr. Robert with cave drawings. Oh, Duggar, where art thou? If time were constant. Meg's the place I call home. One more. Rosen, beloved and forgotten. Thank you, Chills. Okay, let's get these up. Oh, I didn't press the button to get them up. Whoops. Here it goes. And I used some titles as lyric inspiration. Hug Queen, What's Wrong? And then I took Sleep from Hug Queen, Sleep is Not Meaningless, Sleep is Needed. And then, of course, Mr. Robert's Symphony of Light, which is a beautiful image. How many sections did it have? I think it just had 3 sections, but the first section I didn't use the drums for a while, and so when the drums came in, it sort of, I think it feels almost like a new section because the vibe is so different once the drums start. But it looks like 3 sections. See that? I was talking earlier to show how versatile basses are. I was using the fretless wonder as a bass, and then electric vintage. I was using it as sort of a more of a melodic, much higher up, and I had chorus on it and auto filter, and I did something I used to do all the time back in 2017 and 2018, which was put delays on the master track. I used to do that all the time, and I don't do it very much anymore because it almost feels like cheating. But I did it on this track. It's not something that's commonly done, putting a massive amount of delays on the master track. As far as I know. How much of a delay? Well, you remember how those drums sounded when they came in. It's, they went from so this is the drum. Here, I'll turn it off for a second. This is the drum, or did I also have some on the drums themselves? No, so he was okay. Here's the drums normal, which I already have delays going, but now here's the crazy delays right here. And here's that. I'll do the third section without the delays, and then see if you can hear how suddenly it becomes much bigger. actually, it's not as dramatic as it sometimes is because I was playing very slow stuff in a lot of it. P, you play a lot of chorus kind of guitar, things like that? Oh, yeah, I can imagine what that sounds awesome. P says that's one very good sample drum kit. Yeah, which one is that? Oh, the retro kit, yeah. Yeah. It was cool with I had at some point I had somebody's, it was Rosen, it was somebody's drum fill I had looping. I do that every once in a while. I'll actually have the drum fills going at the same, like, over and over again. Usually it just plays once, and then a little while later we play the next drum fill. But I'll do the beat by itself, then I'll add some of these drum. You'll hear it when it loops. Okay, Tubi, I'll stop. Let's see. I sang in some Rhodes. I can't believe 5 years in I'm using a mouse to control most of my effects. It's been on my to-do list so long. I've got all these knobs here that I don't use. I use all these. Well, no, I don't use this one. I need to make, I think I'm ready to start doing panning. I almost never pan anything. So I don't know if I want to if I want to put panning here or if I want to put another effect. Steph says, some you post some merch things. Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. Let's see. Titles review. Some other titles. Beautiful Chills, Jumpin' Jupiter. Meg's Dare to Imagine. Hug Queen, Wire Defense. Oh, Doug, where art thou? Earth Control. Rose and Celestial Plate of Platitudes. I don't know why I suddenly shifted into that voice for Earth Control. What if I did the entire show talking like that? Crystalline in the Sand. From Staffy. Poultry and Seating. From Staffy. Muty Velter. Getting Stupider with Jupiter. Jupiturbulence. The Secret Life of Planets. Features a lot of people on Twitch actually do that all show long. Yeah. I think it'd be exhausting to watch a streamer who has an artificial voice, you know. I think it'd get really tired. I mean, it'd be really fun for a little while, for sure. But if you're gonna watch that streamer, you know, multiple times a week for hours on end, if they're talking in a sort of a manufactured voice, shows as you know, talking like the other day. When I lost my, what happened the other day? I have the worst memory. Oh, we got Doug became Doug Hunt. I missed that, and it's back to Duggar, where art thou? Doug's is like, how long can we listen to Tubi talk? Right. Tubi only works in short spurts. I mean, it would be fun to have a Tubi stream maybe once or twice, but I don't know that it would really work. Because it's artificial, but it's also not expressive enough to listen to for too long, you know? It's in this bow. Rhodes is what if you use the Tubi Sing filter? I did that once, and I did an entire hour-long show. Well, it was just it was spontaneous. I was just improvising for an hour, and I think some people were ready for it to be done. Because even that. And Doug's named it, If Time Were Constant. Time were constant. He says, you have a bad memory, say, so if you cut your hair on stream for 10,000, you would not remember what happened next week. If I didn't look in the mirror, I probably would not know, yeah. I mean, I've got so many wigs now, I probably could cut it and just wear wigs. I bet you would have a great cranium shape. I had a really good friend from Ghana. He's from Ghana and Cameroon. He had family in both, and he had just the perfect head. I mean, it was just perfectly smooth, and he had he shaved it very close. Because most of us, I certainly have a bunch of bumps in the back of my head. And he was telling me, I mean, maybe he was just messing with me, but he was telling me that in Ghana with newborns, they just over time they just sort of gently massage their heads and smooth everything out, because you know babies' heads are so soft when they're born, and a lot of us get these bumps from just lying in the same position for too long. So. But yeah, once they're there, you can't really, you know, it's sort of, you're stuck with them, stuck with the bumps. You have 4 feet of hair, Rosen? Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to let it get long again. Maybe. I mean, the longest I've ever had is just to my shoulders. I think. Yeah, I think that was the longest. Our show was live from Parisian Morning. We did Reasons to Be Okay, Farewell Port, Nothing Else, Antimatters, and If Time Were Constant. Oh. Stuart, thank yous. Thanks to our mods, Megs and Tubi. We had a raid from Piano Teapot. Thank you. Rose, that doesn't take long for my hair to grow. I get sort of 2 haircuts a year, 2 or 3 at most. As y'all have witnessed. Media says bumps are weird. People who grow up riding have a bump on their middle finger, first knuckle. Newer generations don't have that bump. That's interesting. I think I must have bumps on my nose from my glasses. Thanks to gifted subs from Muty to Rosen, 31 months for Socks, 56 for Mr. Robert, 45 for Soho. Hug Queen says my hair grows like a weed. Thanks to our lurkers and chatters. These 18 names you see on screen either named our tour, named our venue, named one of our songs, made a request on one of the songs. We feature Bean Reno, Beth Anywhere, Brother Wolf, Choke Baka, Electric Blue, G Bill, Hug Queen LD, Jazzy, Mick Barber, 96, Miss Robert, Meaty Belcher, O Duggar, We're Out There, Piano Teapot, Pierre TV, Rose and Sock, Staffy, and Wow Soda. Those of you who were educated in Europe, did you have to do cursive? So I think I was one of the last generations. I think they stopped teaching cursive at some point in the 80s, right? Or the 90s. They don't teach cursive to kids anymore, do they? You did in grade school? He says, you mean routine writing? Yeah. It's funny. I tried about 10 years ago. I decided I wanted to learn how to actually be able to do cursive well. I have lots of these sort of little fantasies that I don't go anywhere. But I literally got a handwriting book, and I was really trying, because my handwriting is not terrible, but I don't like writing with, it just feels inefficient. You know, I get frustrated and impatient, and then I get really sloppy. I think cursive I would enjoy more, because you don't have to lift up the pencil so many times. You know, it might just feel more. That was my theory, but I didn't get very far. Who's I learned it, but as soon as they stopped insisting on it, straight back to printing. Right? It's funny is that now the only time people do cursive is their signature. But how do millennials sign their name? Do they do cursive? Do they learn cursive just for that, or are people not even using cursive to sign their name anymore? My signature has gotten so short over it's evolved. Early on, I wrote out my full name. Now I basically write the first letter, and then it's just scribble, and then the second letter, and I mean the first letter of the first word, then scribble. Second letter of the second word, and scribble. That's even feels like too much work. Pieces technically, your signature could be anything. It's the act of signing that counts, not the signature. Staff says I made my own signature between cursive and print. Yeah. I feel like that would be a very interesting coffee table book. is signatures not of celebrities. I'm sure those already exist. Although that would be interesting too, I guess. But just a book just of signatures. Just hundreds and thousands of signatures. I would totally spend a few minutes looking at that. I probably wouldn't spend $50 for a coffee book, but if someone had it on their coffee table, I'd open it up and I would enjoy looking at it for a few minutes. So it's a real moneymaker. But it would be interesting to watch the evolution of signatures also. This would be really cool is if, there's probably, there have been people named John Smith for, 1,000 years or something. So if you just got a book just of people whose name is John Smith and their signature, and see all the variety, the unique, even though everyone's starting with the same name, there's still personality comes through. I was always fascinated by the signatures of some people in the Middle East or Asia that I worked with. Hey, Drew. Hope things are good in Chicago. Doug's a kid who spent a couple minutes looking at signatures but only can afford 60 seconds for oatmeal. Yeah. I mean, I would be multitasking. As I looked at that book, I probably would be, technically I'd be socializing. I'd be at their house, so I'm multitasking. That's how I can afford to look at a book at signatures. Okay. Muses no Rhodes in the van, but a coffee table. Yeah. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to press this button. Have we rated this violinist before? I don't know. I've been having fun doing. Let's rate another DJ. I was digging the DJ we rated. I think it was on Tuesday. He was spinning some cool tracks, old stuff from the 70s. So I hadn't heard of some. I had to look it up. I was like, what? How have I not heard this? It was he spun some Horace Silver. I didn't know Horace Silver had done some more funky albums with singers. Oh, this sounds interesting. Tales from the Dollar Bin and Unreleased. Rose, I wonder if a full-size bus. Who knows? I might end up in one of those. I really hate driving, though. So it's going to be, for me to even get a full-size van is going to be a huge decision and very stressful. Oh, well, Drew, I'm winding down anyway, but yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay. Thanks, everybody. We got one more show this week. And I think we're going to only have 2 shows next week. I think we're just going to have Thursday, Saturday next. I mean, I think we'll do a talk stream on Tuesday and then a music show on Thursday and then the big show on Saturday. Okay, so let's go support this DJ. Hope you all have a wonderful whatever comes next. And I will see y'all soon. See you on Saturday. Okay, take care.